Good morning, you wonderful people. How are you doing this morning? Today, it's day 3 of my fast, and I'm feeling very good, to be honest. Um, like yesterday, I woke up at 4:30 in the morning, but this time there was probably a good reason. I had a pretty full bladder and it needed emptying. But also, I felt so full of energy. Um, which people sort of think it's counterintuitive. Hey, you haven't eaten for over 2 days. I mean, it's now been 65 hours. Surely you should be feeling weak and you've not had any food. But because the ketosis has kicked in, it's a different type of energy, and you start to feel really empowered. It's the ketose energy that you get. Your heart and your brain prefers it, so your mind becomes a bit clearer, and you start to feel a lot healthier. So as I say, it's a bit counterintuitive. So as I say, I had to get up to go to the bathroom, and probably one of the reasons for that is because I'm not eating. I've been making sure that I drink a lot of, you guessed it, water. Now, what type of water am I drinking? Well, I drink distilled water. I also drink distilled water and I put it in a jar with a few stones in the bottom. Now, I'm not going to tell you what the stones are. That will come at a later video. But if anybody knows and wants to take a guess, leave a message in the comments. I drink distilled water because it's a pure water. I mean, 80 to 90% of our body is water, well, depending on how much you drink. And being that's your main fluid, I think it's quite important to have it's the correct water. Now, I will say at this point, in any of these videos that I'm doing, I'm not a medical practitioner, and for legal reasons, I'm not giving any medical advice here to anybody. I am a Reiki level 2 practitioner, but that's another story. So, back to water. I used to drink tap water. I used to think, oh, that's fine, or bottled water. And back to our good old friend Edward Bernays, who I'm not saying that every water has got fluoride in it, but water is treated, and quite often they use chlorine dioxide and all sorts of other chemicals to stop, quite rightly so, viruses and bacteria getting into the water. However, that does leave a residue, and so if you're drinking tap water, I got a distiller last year, and I was quite shocked to find out that once I start distilling water, you can see the residue. I'll take you through and show you my kitchen in a moment. That's if you dare follow me. But it's quite shocking the amount of gunk that is in water. And if you're drinking water from the tap every day, you can imagine what sort of gunk you're putting into yourself. So people say, well, why not bottled water? That's very healthy, isn't it? Well, in a recent survey, they took the top bottled water manufacturers and they took samples, and over 90% of them contain, you've guessed it, fluorine or fluoride. So not necessarily the safest thing to do. Another thing is, if it's a plastic bottle you're drinking your water from, especially if it's been exposed to heat or sunlight, the plastic chemicals within that filters into the water, and especially in men that's not good for you because it makes you infertile, or can do if you drink bottled water over the years. So I recommend either drinking distilled water or using reverse osmosis water, or a filter, although with a filtered water using carbon or something, you have to change it every couple of weeks. And I think there's one out there called a zero. It's something like a zero filter, a zero jug, which is quite expensive, and you need to, every 60 litres or so of water, you need to change that filter. So it's a lot better, in my case, I think it's a lot better just having a distiller. Now, how much water should people be drinking? I've obviously been drinking a lot more than I normally would, but you've got to take into account when you're drinking how much water you're taking. A lot of food contains water, so if you're having a lot of fruit or vegetables, that will have a certain amount of water content within it. But on average, the recommended amount of water is if you take your body weight in pounds, divide it by 50, that is how many litres of water you should be drinking. So for instance, in my case, I'm about 70 kilograms, so in pounds, you multiply that by 2.2, which gives you roughly 150 pounds, divide that by 3, so I should be drinking about 3 litres of water a day. I can't say I always do that, but especially now I'm probably drinking more than that. I know I'm drinking at least 4 litres a day, hence the early morning wake-ups. Anyway, I've gone on a bit long this morning, so as you can see it's a beautiful sunny day. I'm going to get out there and speak to you a bit later on. But before I do that, I'm going to do the usual thing and see how the weight's doing. So let's go and have a look. And today we are on, let's see, 71.3 kilograms. Okay, let's go and have a look in the kitchen. This is my water distiller, and take a look inside. I've probably not cleaned it since I've done 2 distills. But let's just take a little look of it inside here. Now, I don't know if you can see that, but there's an awful lot of gunk there. Just have a clear. So, this is the gunk that has come out of distilling just 8 litres of water from the tap. So that's the sort of stuff you're drinking if you're drinking tap water. So here I am, walking down the canal on the 3rd day. Now you'd think on your 3rd day of not eating that you'd not have any energy, but I've got more energy than I've had in a long while, which is kind of counterintuitive. So to burn off some of this energy, I'm going for a long walk down the canal. Try and find some animals to show you on the way, like the last couple of videos. Okay, no birds around. Normally we get swans and things on the canal, but let's just give you a view of some joggers and the old water tower, or gas tower I should say. Very dramatic in the sunlight. Okay, I've got you some wildlife. Well, here we are at the end of the 3rd day, 72 hours without food, and I feel amazing. Probably the best I've felt in quite a while, to be honest. I don't know if you noticed, but I weighed more today than I did yesterday. I guess it's all the water I've been drinking. Anyway, until tomorrow, I'll see you then. Peace and love to you all.